Hi, this is Alex Holmes here for Plugin Boutique. We're going to be taking a look at Plugin Boutique's own software effect, StereoSavage, and how I might use it to affect mono synth bass lines. So here, first off, let's have a quick listen. We're going to hear a synth bass recorded from a Pulse 2, and then we're going to add in the delay effect to create some stereo width. So essentially what we have here is similar to the Haas effect. By moving this to the left or to the right, you're delaying the left or right side of the signal, which creates a wider stereo sound. We can then dial this back using the wet dry knob, which just makes things sit a little bit better. Over here we have the LFO section, which is just gently moving the rotation to add a little bit of detail and movement. We also have a bass bypass, which is monoing everything below around 100 Hz to keep things nice and clean. So another way I might use this effect, if we wanted to use something a bit more subtle and keep the original sound a bit closer to what we started with, is to just very, very gently pan the top end. Here we're using the bass bypass set quite high, around 7K, and then using the LFO to just very slightly shuffle the pan left and right. Now this is quite a subtle effect, and you probably wouldn't be able to hear it unless you've got headphones on or a good set of speakers. But this is a nice way to just really, really gently add a bit of detail and movement to a sound. So a third way we could use this, if we wanted to use a slightly more extreme setting, such as this one, is to actually put this onto a bus. Now what I'd quite often do is feed the signal through to a separate bus and then have the more extreme effect on there. We can also then add things like saturation and a little bit of reverb to give it a bit more character, and then blend this extra bus in with the original signal. So let's have a listen. And now just the bus by itself. So on this instance, we're using the Vox effect, which works like a stereo detune. It takes copies of the signal and detunes them by a certain amount. You can also select the timing, which will either be quite tight or quite loose, which again just affects the amount of stereo effect you get. Now let's take a look at StereoSavage on some synth stabs. And here we're going to use the expand effect, which is the pre-delay part from an impulse response. You have a control here to control the size, and also a warm button for if things get a little bit too aggressive, it just tames the top end. Now this one can affect the sound quite a bit and make it sound quite different from the original. So again, here the wet dry knob is your best friend. Okay, now let's take a listen to the track as a whole with the effects in and out. So there you have it, StereoSavage. It's a really useful little plugin. It's really nice to have all these things in one place. It can be really great on individual channels just to make them pop out the mix or just give them a little bit more detail and movement. StereoSavage is available now on Mac and PC in VST, AU and AAX formats from pluginboutique.com. Thanks for watching.